אני מביט במאוהב, אני עולה לך תמיד סתם להביט, אבל עכשיו אני נמצא כאן בתפקיד, אבל עכשיו אני נמצא כאן בתפקיד. כן, כן, מי חלם אז בכיתה, כשלמדנו לדקלם על חומותייך, ירושלים, הפקדתי שומרים, כשיום יגיע ואהיה אחד מהם, כשיום יגיע ואהיה אחד מהם, כשיום יגיע ואהיה אחד מהם. אני עומד על החומה, עומד מקשיב אל הקולות, קולות השוק והמהומה, קריאות רוכלים בעגלות, הנה הוא כל המואזין, הנה גידול הפעמון, אבל עליי להאזין, הנה שום נפש של רימון, הנה שום נפש של רימון. כן, כן, מי חלם אז בכיתה, מי חלם אז כשלמדנו לדקלם על חומותייך, ירושלים, הפקדתי שומרים, כשיום יגיע ואהיה אחד מהם, כשיום יגיע ואהיה אחד מהם, כשיום יגיע ואהיה אחד מהם. אני עומד על החומה, אני עומד על החומה, רואה מקור ומסתכל, הנה שקעה כבר החמה, שומר מלילה מליל אור הירח במלואו, שוטף חומות ושערים, מתי יבוא היום שבו לא נזדקק עוד לשומרים.
Hello everybody, I am Aubrey Isaacs, Israel and Jewish Studies educator at AMHSI High School in Israel, speaking to you now from Yerushalyim, and to tell you a little bit about our celebration of Yom Yerushalayim, Jerusalem Day. In 1948, when Israel fought its war of independence, in Yerushalayim there was terrible fighting and battles, and by the end of the fighting, the city was split. On one side was Jordan, and on the other side, Israel. And between the two, a hostile border of barbed wire fences, landmines, no man's land, and two aggressive armies staring at each other across the emptiness. Yerushalayim, for the first 19 years of the State of Israel, was a very sad sort of place, a city split by conflict and hostility. In 1967, during the Six-Day War, Israeli soldiers conquered eastern half of Yerushalayim and reunited the city under Israeli rule. The soldiers, the paratroopers, were able to claim Har Habayit B'Yadeinu, the Temple Mount is in our hands. For the first time in 2,000 years, the site of the Holy Temple was in Jewish control. The soldiers made their way to the Kotel, where they kissed again the ancient stones of the wall of the Beit HaMikdash, the wall of the temple, and the city was unified. Ever since then, that date, the 28th of Iyar in the Jewish calendar, is commemorated as Yom Yerushalayim, the Day of Jerusalem, a day for Jews all over Israel and all over the world to spend some time thinking about our connection to Yerushalayim, our love for this city, our special feeling towards the holy city, the capital of the State of Israel. Happy Yom Yerushalayim to you all.
One of the things I love most about Jerusalem is that in the Tanakh, in the Hebrew Bible, in the book of Isaiah, it's called the house of prayer for all the nations. We know that Jerusalem is the eternal capital of the Jewish people and has been for like 3,000 years. And we also know from our own holy books that it's meant to be shared with the entire world. And I feel like this represents a beautiful balance of two very different but equally important aspects of Judaism and the Jewish people. That we have our own unique traditions and way of being, but we want to connect with the entire world and help out the entire world as much as we possibly can.
Hi everybody, when I think about Yom Yerushalayim, I think about Birkat Hamazon, benching, when it says, Uvnei Yerushalayim er HaKodesh, may Jerusalem be rebuilt. I think of Mizrach, I think of the signs facing towards the east that show Jews where to pray. I think about our prayers. 3 times a day we say, Yerushalayim ercha b'rachamim tashuv, may we return to Jerusalem. For thousands of years, Jews just thought about Jerusalem, the idea of Jerusalem, praying towards Jerusalem. And now, today, I think about how lucky we are that Yerushalayim isn't something in our imaginations, something in our prayers, but a real city that we can be a part of and visit and live in. Happy Yom Yerushalayim to everybody.
When I was a kid growing up in Los Angeles, my seat at the Shabbat table was right underneath the picture on the wall of Jerusalem. And what's really amazing to me every time I get to walk the streets of Jerusalem is just to stop and think about that painting. And not just that painting in my house, but the thousands of years in which pictures of Jerusalem hung on the walls of Jews' homes outside the land of Israel, one day hoping and praying to get back to this magical, amazing, spiritual, holy place. And just the fact that this picture has been in the walls of homes for so many years, and really in the walls of the hearts and souls of the Jewish people for so many thousands of years, and now I get to walk its streets. It's really beautiful and amazing.
One of the things that God cares about is unity. And in 1967, when Jerusalem was reunified, God smiled. Whenever people live in a city that's unified, have freedom of worship, and live in a democracy, God smiles. But for 19 years before 1967, that wasn't the case. Jerusalem was a divided city, and God was not smiling. But there was a brief moment of time when the city, in fact, was unified. In 1957, Miriam, a patient in the French Christian hospital, right next to the boundary line, was standing next to her window. She coughed so powerfully that her dentures flew out of her mouth and went down into the no man's land below, between Israel and Jordan, a no man's land that was filled with coils of barbed wire and mines. The nuns of the Christian hospital went to the United Nations. They got the Israelis and the Jordanians to agree to a ceasefire. They went down in search of her teeth, trying to make sure they didn't explode a mine or cut themselves on the barbed wire, until they found them. And just for a short period of time, the divided city was in fact united, and God smiled.